Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Uh, I'd like to talk about how to stop pandemic and how to stop suffering and how to stop aggression, how to stop anything what is harmful to humans as well as human nature. And believe it or not, it is like the Ripley show because if we could do it, then we would break a record of healing humankind on Earth, which is more than 12.6 hundred thousand years old. So it's 12,000, more than 12,600, more than 12,600 years old. The reason why the Earth got into this position is because as Earth was shifting towards dimensions and realities, as we travel to the universe all the way to the D zone, on the way back to the A zone, we got trapped in the AB zone. Hybrids would call it a checkpoint. I would say it's been a pretty long time. It has been a very long time ago since we've been trapped by bugs. The A zone is the human nature zone, the B zone is the animal nature zone, and in between there is AB zone and there is BA zone. We are in the AB zone. The AB zone has a good side because it's closer to the A zone, but it has a bad side because it says that AB zone. So the animals would understand that that something from the A zone wants to be in the B zone, while humans would understand that something from the A zone wants to be in the A zone of the universe. Now the Milky Way galaxy, so that's where it's positioned at the moment, and between the Milky Way galaxy we in the same position because everything is one and the same when it comes to the energetic qualities all through the universe in the same category of nature, of anything or anyone. They are exactly the same in the same category of nature by same category in the same quality of nature. Okay, that's universal law. Not gonna say first one, but one of them. I haven't looked at it. Which one is this? Yeah, it. It's probably the sixth. In the sixth main, it's probably the sixth main laws or nature defined nature of the universe. How the mechanism of the universe actually works by quality of nature. I think it's the sixth natural law, universal natural law. So, because this will have an effect, uh, an actual effect that will change realities. Okay, so that's why I think it's the sixth. In Hungarian, it's hot, which means having an effect also. Something is affecting something or affects something. So this is why this is okay. I'm gonna say how why. Okay, I'm gonna say first how we will get out of here, and then I'm gonna say after why, or in the same time probably. And I will explain exactly what we need to do, which is technically very simple, should be the easiest for us humans. It is simply it simply means that we need to live accordingly our human nature. We will need to live up to our first purpose, primary purpose, number one purpose is to sustain human nature. That's a number one purpose, the number one obligation, the number one right as well for every human being who was born or created as a human or to be a human. Okay. So, Leonardo da Vinci already described human nature energetically, physically, as well as psychologically. He was also this back like 600, 500 years ago, approximately. By 400 years ago, the best and most matured DNA structured humanoids were able to born with this knowledge and also live with that knowledge to entire lifetimes. And since we are talking about human qualities on an original human planet, the camper of the Orion starship. I know everybody loves to hear that just as much as I do. Always gives us hope. Having a beautiful projection on the sky, we call it the sun or we call it the moon. You know, lighthouses. There's a lot of purposes of those projections. I won't go through it right now because right now we are in the beginning of focusing on how to actually save the world. Let's say if all humans would say, okay, from tomorrow on, I will not consume animals anymore. In any ways, we are consuming more air, more pollutions. Pollutions in this regard, of course, you will consider animal nature in the same as just as much as a bad polluter as any other polluters, because animals naturally spreading pollutions simply because they have acidic and acidifying nature naturally, more or less. They are below 7 by pH balances. That means their blood is acidic. The white of you is acidic. Anything what would come through you has negative ions, negative, like a sponge that actually, even if it looks good and it feels good and it looks like it feels, the being is actually happy and doing well, even then the being is still poisonous, still infectious still infectious to anything what is actually capable of sustaining naturally, and also has to sustain comfortably, naturally. Same thing. Higher pH balanced living. Okay. The human's blood pH balance is 7 365 every day. It is the least what the blood has to sustain. This is the least. If the blood cannot, if the small intestine is, I'm sorry, there's a bee over here. I have to get the bee out of the vehicle cover here. Okay, then under the vehicle cover. It looks like it got lost. Okay. So the human biological system is also a vehicle. It's a host. It's meant to be the vehicle, the host of the human soul, of the human spirit, of human spiritual qualities. the the human physiology is technically the energetic manifestation of the human soul. So the physical manifestation of the human soul is the human biological system. Now you can imagine how much energy, good pH balance, good positive electrons, ions, life, it actually radiates. As long as through itself, in itself, for itself, first of all, you have to sustain human nature, right? So you can sustain human nature outside too. That's right, quality of nature. How are you gonna project a good quality nature human life if the vehicle is not, is not like the soul which is created that vehicle? And that will come with, it will come with a psyche. It comes with a psyche, aligning with that balance, what the soul, the human soul, the energy, the spirit, combined with the physiology, the vehicle, this housing, this host, actually has together. Now the psychology will that will result a certain quality of psychology. Of course, you can train anybody could train the mind to actually adjust to certain type of pollutions. Not all the pollutions, but because the pollutions these days are energized, we call them animal race, energized pollutions. Every single one of them. Some of them are more evolved, some of them are less. As more evolved they are, as more human-like they are, and as long as they are with humans, that means that human spiritual quality got generated through humans and somehow got in them too, which is good for them. But when it happens in the way it happens today, directly through infections, animalistic infections, animal nature infections, inside of people as well as outside of people, I call that robbing. Like robbing. Mr. Bean would say robbing. And they can't help it. As more they get, as more they want. It's no better than the human spirit when it comes to any other living beings or anything else. Actually, it is true to minerals too. Some minerals, if they directly used, or they misused, or people just simply don't know how to use it, and everything could be used for a good purpose to benefit humankind, human nature, in its own position, between its own category of nature, in its own position in this living, recycle and cycling life. What makes up living, this living. This could be eternal for humans. Remember, your physiology is a housing, is a vehicle. It's a host of your human spirit. They're perfect together. They set to align along the way in people's destiny or kismet. Like since birth, we set to improve. Alkaline blood. We have alkaline blood. Means heaven every day. And it is as long as it is clean as well as well kept, well supported. Now, when animalistic, there is an acid in every animal what actually transform them, mutate them into animals. That's an alien acid. That's how the planet got trapped. That's what the planet got trapped with. the P and the T nature attacked both. They both attacked. First, the P attacked it, the cat, the basic cat, the sneaky nature that looks, watch, does not speak much. And then later on, the T nature, which is basically like a dog nature that barks, that attacks, reacts, does not think much. If it doesn't like something, it will react. And then, of course, everything is trainable, and every living is trainable to a certain point regarding to certain things. After that, they will need support from other people who can actually do it, behave humanely in this case, while others may losing it. Some people would have immunity somehow in a way. Maybe they have magnets on them or other instruments that blocks electromagnetic pollutions, electromagnetic radioactive pollutions. And yet, if they're not doing anything for you while you're getting attacked, then what do you think they're doing? I mean, some kind of nature, what do you think some type of nature doing to them? When they sabotage human nature simply by ignoring it. In this world today, in this animal nature infected world today, everybody knows what ignoring means, and everybody knows the consequences of not being responsible to sustain human nature. The number one purpose, my number one purpose, our number one purpose. We, me, same thing. When it comes to human rights, there's no exception in the rule. If you're not doing well, if you are a victim of pollutions, your guts are filled, your small intestine. Okay, let's start with the bag, let's start with the stomach. Let's start with the mouth, the cave. And then there is a tunnel, and then there is a stingray there on the tongue, right? Just kidding. Yeah, so it is a very serious mechanism in here. As soon as something gets in the system, it will be exposed to the human cells. First, it will be exposed to human nature energetically before it will actually get in there. It is already affecting it. So acidic and acidifying natures turned human natured things and beings animalistic on earth from the B zone of the universe, which they simply don't receive, they don't have. From the central sun there is a radiation, there is a cycle, right, of everything. There's a radiation. So this is like the A zone of the universe over here. It's the C backwards. That's the Orion star system. That's where we are belonging to. That's where our spirit is actually at. Through this sun, through this starship inside the sun, inside this shell. And then right around it, we got the Kemper, we got the Earth. Originally, it is a human heaven. It could dimensionally shift back to the A zone, to the Orion star system. We will remember what happened, but the way we remember will be protected. In protected zones, areas, with protected instruments made out of noble minerals, and they are living technically. They would protect those memories for us, not to actually live with them, but if we want, we could always go and take a look at it. Like there are areas in the A zone where we are capable of learning of what happened to us before, all through the universe as we were traveling, and everybody leaves the A zone. Everybody travels to the universe from the A zone, and everybody is doing their best in order to get back. Of course, as closer we get to the A zone, as more intelligent, more human-like, human nature-like the beings will become, animal beings. So now we're talking about hybrids in the A, B, and the BA zone. So that's why a lot of people's blood are either, like as AB. So, anyways, no. Originally, we have one blood type. I think that's the O, A and the O. So OA and AO, AO and OA. OA is the baby, AO is the matured. So it's Atlanteans knew about this culture. Atlantis people of Atlantis, the DNA is already there. So the DNA, it's in the DNA of those. And at that time, the Earth was full of these intelligent civilizations. They don't kept animals directly close to each other or any more natured things. They surrounded themselves with the most highest, with the most beautiful as well as highest pH balanced everything. From minerals, from living beings, not animals, plants, and hybrids, mineral and plant hybrids. Human and plant hybrids, of course. There were amazing civilizations all across the world. Everybody had the uniqueness in a way expressing the highest levels of understanding human nature as well as cultivating it, sustaining it, protecting it. So I'm not gonna say there's a battle with animals because the animals are battling with us naturally. The acidifying natures. Let's put it that way because the pollutions with them as well, of course. So I don't always have to say animals and the pollution, but they pretty much mean the same thing. We could just say pollutions in this case, but remember, they carry pollutions. They energize pollutions because they carry pollutions and they cannot help it. They will get energized when it comes to the human spirit, and they will appear and they will do their thing, and that will not never affect human nature positively. Never. Acidic nature, more acidic nature rather than human nature will always cause acidifications. Will always lower the pH balance by polluting it and by causing trouble. That means causing harm. That means causing injuries, neurological injuries, psychological injuries leading to neurological injuries leading to other health defects because the nerves are everywhere. Cellular defects in most of the cases. When animalistic nature is coming through humans, humans are speakers if they talk. In this case, mostly bark. The animals are examples of alien nature carrying abilities. So, one of the main examples are the dogs, the cats, the birds, the fishes, and of course in birds and cats there are the mammals, right? And of course there are the reptilians. So they're not your friends, they're not your family, they're not from Earth, they're nothing to do with anything what is human natured, but everything what is animal natured, as well as animalistic. That means hybrid natured, where you cannot win. It drags you down and trying to keep you until someone reminds you, hey, that's not you. That's actually the poo in you. Right now, you are a poo. Hey, that's not you. That's actually a bug in you. You are a bug. You are bugging. The innocent. No, that's not you. That's a parasite in you. Acting through you. Now you are a parasite. You are stealing from people energy, money, assets, the destiny, the future that is human. You are a parasite right now because you have a parasite in you acting through you. You lying. That's a parasitic nature. I can go on. You are a worm. You're warming into everything. You probably got pig nature, created worm inside you, pigging in. You dig in. Then you're pooing all over the places in the tunnel. They're doing it inside of humans with pollutions because they pee, poo, sweat, even sneeze and cough just like humans do. The animal nature inside of humans, even through air, and we consume again more air than anything else, energy should be sustained, not consumed. It's a different story because everything is energy. We are human energy, so we have the right for it. Yet every others want it, but when they getting it, something through them gets energized, something what they also carry, because they are involved. They have one family. That's the animal race. From the tiniest, most vicious, most evil bug to cutest, most beautiful looking, but still poisonous, animalistic qualities, natures. It's all in the animals, all the time. Just like everything with human nature is in humans at all the time. Even if he's covered with poo, and even if he's crumbled and rumbled and injured and demolished and damaged, even then it's there, it's human. It's something what humans can have, something what humans can do, something what humans meant to non-stop improve just by living it. What can be better for humans rather than living by human nature? I can't think of anything else. I've seen humans happy when they were doing it. And I've seen people, including myself, very not like me, that means not happy, when I wasn't able to, or when I was not able doing it. In nowadays, when it comes to the ABs on the universe, these guys got the gadgets, the hybrids. Most of the planet is already hybrid. And yet nobody likes the hybrid. Nobody likes the animal. Not even animals like to be animals. Hybrids don't like to be hybrids. None of them. There is a nature in them which is still in them. That's why they couldn't yet heal, get out of the mess without hurting humans. That's how serious it is. We are under attack. Alarm, alarm. Achtung, Achtung. Figyelem, figyelem. Maybe I know French. Hold on. Attention, attention. I think I was French. Maybe it was Italian. I don't know. So, warning, 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 warning. I'm warning the entire planet that we are under attack. Since 12.6 thousand years ago. Yes, there is a lot of us and more of us, but are we doing better? Is that really worthwhile? Do we really need suffering? Do any beings want suffering? Not even animals want suffering. That's also poison to them. That's already a virus nature in them. Of course, viruses want suffering because they are suffering. That's all they do. Living in acids, what they are living with those fluids. Any being would suffer in the first stage of becoming alive. It's an acidic battery in a way. Everybody's seen acidic battery discharging before, probably in a way or another. Yeah. Don't play with batteries. Those are not good batteries. When we could use chlorophyll, when we could use noble minerals, when we could use everything is energy around us. It's in the ether. It's everywhere. Magnesium, Yeah, salt with water, hydrogen, most common element in the universe, hydrogen, wheat. What? How you make hydroelectromagnetic fields and plasmas and shields? How? Hmm? I know how. Do you know how? You know how to utilize mercury safely, so you can shift anywhere between the planet, inside the planet, to the planet. Also, definitely through water, through air, and above ground or even on ground, you can help with the gyroscopic systems. Know how to make gyroscopic systems? I know. Do you know how to make actual Earth-like homes, like the Earth is like? I call them Neptunian hours and Neptunian times. The Neptunian times is where we are living, the Neptune hours is where we are gathering. They are bigger. I know how to. You know how? Because my cells are so clean that my brain, the receptors are also clean, and my neurological system is also clean. So through my cells, the information what is in my human nature, because my DNA is almost intact, not completely intact, not completely wholly wholesome, but almost. Okay, mine is also injured. That's the thing about the planet. How can we born actually complete 100%ly when the Earth is not, the electromagnetic field around us isn't aligning with synchronity and isn't aligning with the balance, with the human right balance of the 4 plus 1 main elements. Alright? 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1. Alright? Okay? Look at my palm. Not a big deal. It's a map. It tells me who I am, how I am in this world. It also tells me how can I be. Everybody's destined to the best human qualities. It's in you, it's on you. I have to work every day very, very hard not to get infected by animalistic qualities. All the time, on myself. All the time. Everybody is technically living everything for that, intuitively. Have a better human life. Right? How can we actually do that? I know if there are no other natures rather than human natures in me, it's a huge advantage because now I don't have anything troubling, at least in me, this holy design, this holy nature, what all humans got as one beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, heavenly family. So please don't consume things what would pollute your stomach. Don't consume things which would pollute or hurt the cells, the tiny cells, has a pH balance at least 7.365. Now think about it. It's super sensitive. It's electric. It's electricity. Above 7 there is sustained electricity. Above 8 there is eternity. When we reach 8, when our blood pH balances are reaches 8 because we are so clean, we are producing clean blood cells in the small intestine because these little tunnels, these tiny holes, these tiny pipes, they're just flexible pipes. That's that's the gut. That's the small intestine. So everything what gets absorbed through there in little pores, from that liquid, blood is getting produced. Your blood, your livers, your kidneys can filter only so much into your, in Hungarian it's called eper, where the toxic goes, and then of course you get, if it functions well, it releases it into the we pee it and we poo it out. Depends on how solid or we sweat it out or we sneeze it out. Somehow we do eliminate that waste. That's the eper in English. Not the coccyx, no. Anyhow, so some people it had to be removed. But of course, it's not so good to remove it because it has a function to actually store very bad acids, very bad pollutions, which cannot be directly separated to peeing or pooing or sweating or breathing or sneezing or coughing or throwing up. It's also waste elimination. So it is a human right to have a healthy human biological system. You have right to health. You have or health in original English. Health. It's health, health, your well-being. You have the right to life. It's, I think, life. In Hungarian we would say life. Okay, that means you don't have the right to die. That means as a human, which is a good thing. Imagine if your neighbor believes that, saves you every time. You need life saving. You need life saving because someone just grew up like that, just like you. Believes that we all have the right for life and we have to stand up for each other's right. If I see someone just troubling the public, I will go to the person and I will do my best to make sure the person will stop troubling the public. Or I mean something to the person. And I will tell the person what is actually troubling the public to the person, what makes the person be like something else rather than the person, the human person. I tell the person exactly what it is. And also tell the person to take it out of her, of her or himself, or even itself. I'm not kidding about it. Are you kidding? If you don't have that much spine, if you don't have this much integrity, it is a basic. I didn't even force the person to not to host alien inside of them, cancers, small intestines, like snake natures and wars, like worm natures, all are so infected, full of it, they poo and everything inside of them. They deposit their waste products, those living creatures, especially if someone has big guts, big bellies, big small intestine now, and big large intestine, all enlarged of from the accumulated poison, pollutions. They are the biggest victims, one of the biggest victims as humans, who still remain humans yet. They are partially mutated, but not so much that they look isn't so changed yet. They could be still the cellular structures are gone, not human qualities somewhere, so that's what they're projecting outward through the blood qualities and through the radiations, everything. Talking about infected small intestine, having layers like thin or thicker layers of stock. Most of the times these are already black, burnt out stock. it's a layer of. It's like if you look in a dirty pipe, non-stop, which non-stop kept dirty by dirt inside. Because the electromagnetic impulses to the nervous system, into the psyche, will want these parasites, but they are parasites in this case. All the pollutions are parasites actually, and all the animals are parasites naturally actually. They will deliver a message that they want to sustain themselves, and they do actually make people to keep them and to grow them, to manifest them. So if you spending time with animals or animals with you, if you consume animals, you need to take it out. You need to take them out of your life in order to have a human life. So that means you are not actually a criminal against humankind. Because as soon as someone becomes animal nature infected, that means alien nature carrier, automatically someone just as much. People stay like that for years. People stay like that for a lifetime. You know, a lot of people would say excuses like, "Oh, we will get resurrected. We don't really die. The soul doesn't really die. I didn't qualify for regeneration. I'd rather die. I will be resurrected anyways. Or if not, who cares? My soul never dies. My spirit comes back. I will reborn again." Is that really human speaking? All of these excuses? Is that a really human? Is that really how a human spirit would think and feel about sustaining itself? When these messages coming through humans, it's not a human message. What do you think a human spirit would tell to human spirit? What keeps this physiology alive, which you were born with? From your mother, your father, to your mother as well as your father, to as well as through this earth, as well as through all others, of course, because trust me, if they want to stop anybody from being born, they will. The aliens, they're stopping non-stop humans, true humans, to be born. How you call that? I'm not so good at bad things, unless if someone pollutes me and then just the basic stuff comes out, and then I just tell them straight up what's going on through them. But how you call hostages? So we being kept hostages by the entire animal race, which is natural alien nature carriers, which were actually human nature, and they are victimized to certain degrees. But that does not mean that these victimized alien nature carriers should be like that. Needs to be like they don't need to be like that. This is exactly the opposite of what human nature actually would do about it. What's going on today? We would separate them safely. We would make sure they live better, they feel better at those environments rather than anywhere else, so they will not come to the human environments. We would monitor them. We would keep them safe too. We would actually convince them that it's much safer if we look after them. They're not only here because of our human spirit, because they're consuming it and polluting it non-stop. They're not only here for it. They're also here in this evolution, in their evolution, they also learn from us. Humans only learn from animals after they get infected and their hybrid nature realizes something that, hey, oh wow, you know. But human nature is an infinite nature. It's complete, it's perfect, it's holy, it's divine, it's saint, it's sacred, not secret, sacred. There are no secrets. Energy is information. Think about it. I love you. Aloha. Stay well. Get out of the bug trap. If you need help, reach out respectfully. If you can't, it's not your fault, and neither others who will be infected by the infections through you or others. It's not our fault. It's happening. If you can do something good about it, do. If you cannot do anything good about it, don't do anything. If you need protection, you need to protect yourself, do what you have to. The aliens do not understand human languages. The alien natures do not understand human languages. The animals do not really understand human languages. They hear it, but they won't able to listen to it completely. They listen to it the way they are, capable of perceiving it, and they're capable of perceiving it the way they are. And they're not like us. They can't be. Otherwise, they would be humans. Like probably they would. I saw a little reptilian out there about this big. It would probably be a human about this big at first. You know, once they get equalized and all that, it's not. They will naturally evolve among themselves and being better in their own environments. All animals, like this mixed environment where we have humans, animals, and hybrids like that. And everybody is suffering from it. All of them are suffering from it because all wants to be technically at least humans wants to be humans. The animals want to be at least animal, being animals, and not being bothered in their living. My human spirit is so bright it bothers all of them that they don't have it, and they cannot help it being envy. That's what. It's acidic nature, acidifying nature. And when that happens to me, I have to protect my alkaline design, my alkaline nature, just like you. You failed. First attempt in learning. First attempt in learning. Failing. No problem. Do it again. That's gonna be your first attempt again. Those who are drinking a beer and somebody asks you how many beers did you drink, you can say one. Yeah. And you can also ask them why, how many beers you drink at the time. At the same time, how many beers can you drink at the same time? So if someone asks you how many beers did you drink before, one. He says, don't lie to me, I saw you drinking 5. Me, no, I only drink one at a time. You ask me how many beers did I drink? One. Gone. Okay, so yeah, don't underestimate human nature. Don't underestimate human qualities. As half humanoids, we are just as good as gods as well as angels, together, being united. That means human means heaven's united magical angels, who are godlike as well as angelic. Godlike means humanly creative towards humans, between humans, for human nature. That's how we're sustaining it. Angelic means humanly protective, among humans, for human nature, to sustain human nature, to protect human, all that. To enjoy with enjoyment, we protect angelic nature with angelic nature. We protect godlike nature with godlike nature, which is human right, among humans, for humans. That's how we do it. You don't consume pollutions, you're kidding. Humans don't meant to pollute. Those who got those who got the canine teeth, those are already hybrids, already mutated humans. Besides, look at all the rest of the structures of the tooth. Look at all the rest of the qualities of the human biological system. First, consider pH balances and what actually keeps it well, alive forever. Reaching pH balance 8, sustained. Blood pH balance 8, keeping it at that way at least. That's the original nature. Why not? We got our planet, we got our camper for it. Yes, we got a zoo, but again, the zoo is. There's a reason why zoos are kept separately, and normally safely too. Normally, animals would feel better in the zoo, believe it or not, than out there or in reserves. But there's a way to actually, if you put in the zoo in the valley, that will pollute the air all through the valley. That will pollute the air stream. That's not good. You gotta hide it. And, if you put it in a way that is polluting in a valley, there is water, the water arteries of the planet, the water tunnels and channels and rivers and lakes and whatnot, the water reserves. If you're putting anything animalistic about it, you pollute it. So it needs to be sealed when animals are from that too. If they are on noble minerals, around noble minerals, high pH quality minerals, which are inside the humans naturally, especially if it's like inside the humans, we made up by elements, minerals, and you put animals in there. That's voodoo. We call it voodoo, but it's technically just like black magic. It's technically just cursing. That's technically just energetic pollution, to polluting and pollutioning, pollutions and polluting, to using energies to minerals, energetic minerals, and then of course that will produce bugs too. It will manifest physically as well as psychologically, depending on where is it directed. Now, through frequencies today, especially if you have cell phones with you, or anything what's radioactive or electric or wireless, even you are electric too, but if you don't have anything on you, especially if you're not polluted by animal nature, then you will be a very hard target. Of course, the hard targets of not being able to tune in, you know, and resonating as a pollution with pollution inside the humans. Of course, it will always make the pollutions angry and the polluters. They will try harder. But then you have a chance to actually defend yourself harder, which you must. Because, again, everything and every living being at their momentary state of how about when it comes to psychology, when it comes to energetic qualities or physical qualities, they will able to align, tune in, as well as understand what they have at the momentarily. Now, if something is stabilizing something, of course that is also true. Like if something has a routine, got used to something chronologically, like long time, by quality of nature, very same effects by pH balances will affect them, will have an effect them, better than anything else, depending on how they are. Now polluters capable of, they non-stop doing, bringing different types of pollutions to healthy radiations, like human natures, just to steal human nature, non-stop. Today it's a fashion. In 2026, as of 2026, I think it's May 1st, it became a fashion robbing healthy humans instead of healing those who are not healthy with proper nutrients and environments. Now, how evil is that act? And that act is actually nothing to do with them, but it happens to humans. It happens to animals naturally, but happens to humans artificially. Most of humans. So be very careful. Again, if you're injured, if you need help, ask, ask. Don't force. You most likely never will be helped properly if you force to be helped. in every ways. If you need financial support, if you need support energetically, physically, or psychologically, ask very, very respectfully from those who 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 know how to do it. If you are poisoned and you cannot ask for it humanely, not only injured, then be prepared that people who are actually well will protect their well-being, no matter what. No matter what. Okay? If you mean life threat, which energy robbing is always a life threat, people collapse like this because of it and they never stand up. In the better cases, they get brought back somehow. In the better cases, they have instruments, radioactive instruments, applications on cell phones, connected with satellites, with nanobots, with bacteria and viruses to frequencies. They're channeling energies out of humans. That's how beastified humankind became. And when the beasts, now talking about beastified humans and nature to humans, at that time when they are beasts, they will not understand human nature. They already belittling human nature. They already robbing it. They already committing harassment. They already harassment. They already attacking it. They already offending it. So they don't look at the human who they're robbing, those virus natures, through humans, because they are polluted inside, and plus there's radioactive pollutions, plus there's psychological pollutions in them, because they're never happy when they're attacking. You don't see really happy people happy. Those are not happy people who may seem to be happy when they're attacking. Those are crazies like that too. There's a very bad bacterial virus infection on the membrane, on the main membrane, down here too. The nervous system, there is like sort of like a center where it spreads outwards. Yeah, so healing will work for everyone. So if someone attacks someone and someone is defending themselves as well as or after, depending on the situation. Many cases, after I get offended and I protected myself already, and I had to I have to become animalistic, or I just became because I got poisoned too, just like the individual who was poisoned to radioactive pollutions, or most likely usually it's canceration. It's parasitic nature with radioactive pollutions. So again, these devices, if they are on, especially the data is on and the Wi-Fi is on, they will amplify, they will reinforce radiations inside of us. They will help to energize internal cap pollutions. Or they could, if someone hacks these radios, even they could be hacked as is. Mine is not turned on, but it could be hacked as is because the battery is built in and it's inside. There is also a way to do it without having a battery inside, simply by using electromagnetic microwaves. Look into phones and activate phones and their functionalities. So be careful, people, be careful. We don't have anybody else but us, humans. We don't have, no. You don't have anybody else like you besides other humans, just like me. We don't. All these chronologically mutated natural alien nature carriers, even the infected instruments, devices, or mechanics, or anything really, not only the living ones. I mean, they are not really living because living would including loving. Loving means caring. And no, there are no slaves on the planet. No, there are no servants on the planet. If when you go, you say you serve this and that, you don't. Serving, slaves are serving. And when you get that meaningless and worthless currency for it, instead of caring and loving and affection what humans deserve and needs to have non-stop as a human from other humans, not from infected humans and from infections, from other humans, in normal ways, which are actually also mutually satisfying. Like I respect you, feel like I feel that I'm respecting you, and you respect me, and I feel like you respecting me too. So you feel like I'm respecting you, I feel like you respecting me. That's mutual respect. It is very easy when we are not polluted. It is not possible when we are polluted. Even if when humans or beings are similarly polluted, they have synergy, but that's not human nature synergy, synchronized energy. That's a polluted synergy. And they never be happy about it. And look at them. It shows on everything and everyone who's like that, who got trapped in a situation like that. So get out of it. And I go even further because I'm respecting you, because I know like this you can show me respect when I'm recording without any Wi-Fi and data and any, besides the camera is on, nothing is on my phone, on this phone. But the radio got deactivated because it got cooked on at the windshield in the car more than almost a year ago. So what I'm trying to say is, it happens, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I kept the phone because it has an amazing camera, and it's super beautiful too. Even like this is very broken right now, but most likely it will be like this. But anyways, I'm not talking about my phone right now. So I'm talking about humans right now, but I don't want to, sound so serious. So I have to go off track a little bit sometimes and make some jokes if I can. It is very, very serious. This is the most serious thing what we can think about, but also it is the best thing we can think about. It is human nature. It is to sustain human nature. At this moment, I had to be serious about it because this situation what we are all having and facing us, we're not facing them, they are facing us. And they want us to face them too. And they want us to help about the situation. That's the animal race. That's when it comes to humankind as well as animal race. And they cannot help it any better rather than how they are. And they always will be acidifying because they are acidic blooded and acidic quite a fluid nature. Then everything about them are like that. Energized waste products, more or less evolved. That's how they are, not humans. You would be super surprised when actually the mutation gets reversed and how humans get transformed or animals get transformed. You would be surprised about how humans get transformed to animals too, but it's super obvious. I think you don't need too many examples about it. Actually, there are a lot of examples about how animals get humanized as well in this world today. If you look at the dolphin baby, or what do you call it, or orca's baby, or the whale's baby look like humans, right? They are like acidified giant humans. Still kept alive in the ocean, which meant to have pH balance 8, at least. So as are all of our mineral waters or drinking waters too. Of course, the sewage waters are a different story. Or the drain waters. All it takes is three categories, three to understand them, and we already understand everything. We already got everything to do it. Besides half humans, healthy humans. Proper English. I love you. I hope you will have a great day. I hope you will be very successful on keeping your vehicle as well as with your vehicle, your journey. on the, you know, on the path, like a good Canadian would say, keep your stick on the ice. My stomach is making noise. I'm probably getting super hungry. So yeah, I love you. If you're not on your, if you think, of course, most of the people, just as much infections are in our lives, just as much our destinies are diverted, misaligned, misdirected. But we find beauty. Remember, your world first is in you. Since it is a psychological quality, it is in you firstly psychologically. In you firstly. If you can't keep it that way, if you can't keep your human nature, human spirit in you psychologically, in your brain, in your mind, then reach out for help. There are lots of help, the human nature supportive, psychological, intellectually very valuable assets everywhere. Uh, Everything is a projection. Okay, and when we're realizing something we don't have, that means at least we know what we are missing. So we know what we need to bring in. If you exchange your thoughts perhaps to good thoughts, if you once you are capable of, because the pollutions are exited the system, left the system, then yeah, then it's easy. Then you realize. Then realization occurs. Then peace with it. As long as the realization is actually aligning with human rights, human nature, human quality, what we are all having naturally. And if we don't, then we're naturally looking for it. And if we cannot look for it humanly, we need to seek help. It's very important to train the mind like that, to help us to look for it humanely. If we can, because we're having a so badly polluted system, everything affects another, and neurologically it directly affects the psyche to the central nervous system after it gets infected. Then we need to know how to heal. What will actually clean it? What will actually help us to preserve, to sustain our human nature? The good things, so good thoughts will automatically exchange bad thoughts. Good feelings will also, so good thoughts will produce good feelings. Good feelings will also automatically exchange bad feelings. That's how it goes. How to regenerate good thoughts? Look around. Luckily, there is good everywhere. Luckily, also there is good in everything. Luckily, even in the worst scenarios. And then we realizing it, and be able to focus on that, give thanks for that, feeling blessed about them. Now we have a pretty good chance about. Now we are welcoming good thoughts. And when we're doing it, now we are welcoming good feelings. And when we are doing both, then we are welcoming good deeds. When we're doing that, welcoming good memories to remember to. I don't need to tell anybody how powerful good memories are. Hey, once again, it's been a long time since I delivered a message. There's a lot of things been going on in this world, from elections to system changes to world wars to peace makings, and luckily, eventually everybody decides with peacemaking. Aloha.